Hi guys, today I'm going to be working in my nature's, or no, this isn't my nature's book, this is my field book, and I'm going to be working on a still life photo that was from Paint My Photo, and this is the, I'm sorry, let me turn my lights off here. This is the photo that I will be working with today. It's a beautiful photo. This photographer does amazing work on Paint My Photo. If you want a good person to follow on Paint My Photo, let me find him here. Where is he? Oh, I guess I'm still in there. How do I get out of that? There we go. He is Viacheslav. Vyacheslav. He's an excellent photographer. This guy's work is phenomenal, just phenomenal. So anyway, I'm going to work on these strawberries today. There's a lot of good light and shadow and changes in color and reflection and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to give it a shot. This would be good for an oil painting. I may do it in oil too, but today I'm just going to work in watercolor. Here I'm just wetting down the background portion of the wall, and I'm adding many colors together. It has burnt umber, raw umber, sap green, some quinacridone gold, and even a little bit of the red that I use in the strawberries. And I'm mixing that together and sort of blending it, which is what it shows in the photo. Don't worry, that red won't look that strong. I'm gonna blend it together. Now the table portion is just raw umber and burnt umber, and then on the cup I'm using sap green, raw sienna, a little bit of raw umber, and some green gold. And I'm leaving areas of the cup white, and I'm just bleeding that out with water, and that way I can leave the reflections on there. To tell you a little bit about what I did on the background. In this background, as you can see on the photo, there is a lot of color going on here. We've got greens over here, there's reds, there's browns going on, and then the tabletop is brown. There is some red reflection from the strawberries that I'll put in. The light on the cup and the bowl is very light. It looks like a multicolored cup and bowl, but it's got a lot of green in it. So that's what I'm doing right there. So now with the cup, I had just used I'm using Core watercolors, and with the cup I was using some green gold and sap green, and I'm just kind of blending them out with water, just trying to loosen the edges a little bit so that they're not so crisp. I want this to be a gradual move to white. And down here I'm going to need to add some green, because obviously behind the strawberry we're not going to have that much light. So that's a little too wet though. So I will put that there. But then the leaves will be a darker green, so it should not be a problem either. There's a little light that's hitting here that I need to scrub this off here. And I should not be using this brush. I should be using a scrub brush. I need to find my small one though. I believe I have it put away. So I'm just going to, it's in my sketch bag. So I'm just going to use this little flat, this cheapy number 4 flat from the set of Chinese brushes that I bought. They're just nylon brushes. So it's a little softer than I thought it was, but I can get some light on there. And then you just dab it off. This is a nice way to add light when you want to have the white of the paper a little bit dirty. There are edges of this paper here and there that I kept white, so it's super bright, but I don't want it all to be that way. And it's not that way on the cup handle. And then I need a very small pointed brush here for this green. I need to add a line coming down here. And now I want to put the red in the tag. The writing is white, but I'm just going to write it in with white pen. It says Tess, which must be the name of the tea. And the string is white also. And I'm just going to use white pen or white gouache, one of the two, to put that in as well. Oops, these edges were supposed to be, they're supposed to be curved. So I got to take this sap green and I need to bring this in on an angle here. There we go. Get my angle back. It needs to be much darker because there's a reflection under it, and it needs to be a lighter value than the tag itself. That should work. I will fix the green once the red is dry to fill in those edges around the tag. And there is supposed to, actually, there's a little red that's supposed to be behind that as well. Looks like it comes up over here, and then it starts out over here. So I'm going to do that and then dab it. Then I need to make the other part a little bit darker again. Okay, so that part's done. Now the berries. Oops, actually, before I do the berries, I just got to fix the brown here. It's going to be darker under there anyway, so I'm not too worried about those edges. And then at the cup, it's going to be very dark too. Right along this edge, we've got some shadow going, and then there's a lot of shadow coming around here. Okay, it gets very dark over here. This whole side gets shadowed, but it seems to go off on an angle kind of like this. So I'm going to go ahead and wet the paper, and I'm going to make that darker. Grab my oval brush. Got to wet this edge right away so I don't end up with a line there. Remember when I told you about that? How if you draw a line, you got to make sure that it doesn't dry, and I think it dried that quickly, which is a bummer. I need some raw sienna. Again, I'm wishing that was a full pan. I have not even touched my Viridian. Actually, that edge should have stayed a little bit lighter. I want to wet this so that it just kind of fades out slowly. And I will put a little more darkness over here. And it can just fade its way in on its own. Probably needs to be even darker yet. Let me add some gray into it. There. I'm going to have to match that now because these colors are different. So I need gray and the raw sienna. Brush isn't wet enough. That, the raw sienna, a little bit of burnt sienna mixed together. Concentrated. I'm going to just take some water now and spread that out. Move it around. Now when you're doing a shadow, usually your shadow will start to gradually get lighter along the edges. So you can either go around with another color on the edge, like that, or just use water. Now, I'm going to dry this a little bit up by the bowl because I want to start on the bowl here. Actually, I forgot I need to fix this here too. And the rest of it will be with the strawberry. Okay. Now, this green, sap green, needs a little bit of gray in it as well. I just noticed there's an edge that looks very dark. Maybe I'll use neutral tint. Let's see how that works. Might need to be a little bit light. Yeah, that's working good. Neutral tint and sap green, just to run along the edge of the cup here. Bring it in a little bit, and then along the edge, and bring it in a little bit here. Oops. There we go. Okay, and now I've got to do the same on the bowl. I've got a white area in here. Then I'm going to use some green gold, sap green. I'll start with the green gold though, because there's a lot of that here. And I'm just going to spread it around, use some water. remodel it a little bit. Sorry if I bumped the camera there. And down here. Okay, and then I need the sap green. Should have used quinacridone gold. That's what I was thinking of, not green gold. So I'm going to yellow that down a little bit. And I want to draw some of it down in here. There we go. That's perfect. Now, so I'm keeping some of the white of the paper right here in the center, and then I'm pushing back the color that I had put in so that it gradually changes its... I keep wiping my brush off every time, and then I re-dip into the water, wipe, and then do this again. And then you can take your paper towel and just kind of dab it dry. My paper towel is way too wet. I need a new one. And I don't know where I put them. They're usually hanging around my tripod. So, oh, here they are on the floor. Good place. So, now I've got the first layer done of the bowl, but I still want to take this back a little more. Take some more color out of it. I think I lost too much white, but that's okay. Still looks natural. There. Now, need a little more gold to run through there, and then I need the sap green. Now I'm going to add the neutral tint to my sap green and really darken that right side where the shadow is. So I'm going to mix that together, grab some neutral tint, and make it nice and dark. This might not be dark enough, but we will see. Yeah, I need to make it darker here. Just kind of creeps its way in, and it comes in further along the bottom. Now I gotta wait for that to dry because I'm pushing color around. You see how that's happening? And my brush is not as wet as my paper is. So I'm just gonna stop there for a few minutes. And I'm gonna start working on the strawberries. And the strawberries should be a little tricky because there's some lighter areas here too where the light's reflecting. Then we'll put the dots in last. It's gonna be hard to do. I've never done it in watercolor before. So let me get my smaller brush here. I'll use one of these. And let's see what color I want here. Probably some alizarin crimson. Let's see, that is, what is that? That's permanent scarlet. This must be permanent alizarin crimson here. Yeah. And then I want to mix that with permanent scarlet, I think. Yeah, that works good. Got it really dark on the right side. Again, of course, because the light's coming this way, or actually coming this way. Wet my brush, and I'm just going to drag this color over. It's going to get lighter and lighter. Needs a little bit of orange in it. I'm going to add a little more scarlet to it to make these brighter. Water again, and then I'm just going to wet the center and draw that other color in toward the center. Then I'm just going to dab it. Should do. Looks like there's a little bit of yellow in these berries, just very little. It's just a hint. So I'm gonna see how I can do that. It seems to be just along here, just a little bit of yellow. Very strange, coming down this way. There. And a little more permanent scarlet over here. As long as it's wet, you can continue to work them. But once they start to dry, just let it go. You can always come back to it. That way, you won't ruin it. Now I'm going to take a little neutral tint, and I'm going to start to add that to this side to darken it. It's a little too heavy. Let me just see if I can catch this still. Now I'm just going to let that dry because I can't move it around anymore. It started to dry too much. So we'll just let it go. And now I'll work on this one. And I'm just going to continue on this way with the same colors for all the berries. And I'm going to speed it up. Sorry, my paper was twisted. case. It has all of my pens in it. This tea bag said Tess, and my, well, I've looked through my ink, and I'm just going to use the white here. Now, the only thing is where it is darker, I'm going to have to somehow make those seeds darker. So hopefully this won't, I hope this is waterproof. I don't know, it may not be. And if that's the case, I'm going to have trouble, because that's all going to come off.
Hi, everybody.
So I put the dots on here on my strawberries, and they're a little too white. This is not what I should have used. If I were to do this as a full painting, I would do each area individually with a brush. But now I'm going to try to go over it with a little bit of raw sienna, I think, and see what I can do here with a light wash to get this color toned down. Whoops, and right now I'm lifting up the color underneath here, and that's not helping me. You know what? This white is not waterproof. So that takes care of that. I can't do it. Can't do it. So I'm going to move on. We'll just leave the white for this time, and next time I will do it differently. Let me pull my photo back up here because I stopped for a little bit, and I need to brighten this up a little too because it's too dark. I lost my brightness there for a bit because I was losing power. Okay, so this green is very dull, as you can see in the photo. Whoops, dropping stuff. So you can see in the photo here, whoops, that's a different photo. These strawberries, the green areas are getting pretty old on a lot of them. This one's a little greener, but a lot of these are a little duller. So I'm going to go ahead and try to put those colors in. Turn the light back on here so you can see. And another thing that I didn't realize is that there was a tea bag wrapper sitting over here, but I'm going to leave it out. And I got to fix all my shadow areas as well. But let's get started on this green area. I'm going to go in first with a little bit of green. I can always dull it down with some browns and yellows. As I go. So now I can take that and then take a little bit of my raw sienna maybe and dot that in here and there to brown it up. And then also take some raw umber, which is a little browner yet. And that just kind of dulls it down. But for the brighter area, I want to use sap on this one. Most of it was very green. Some of it I might leave a little bit greener too. I kind of like the look of the green. It's kind of nice that when you're painting your own painting, you can do it any way you wish. fixing up some of the shadows because the light's coming at this angle. And the photographer took liberties on the lighting too. So this is dark over here where it probably would have had light shining behind it, and he made changes. So it's hard for me to know exactly what's going on there, but the light coming down in here, I wanted white on the outside, which is why I went around the wall color again, the background wall, and then lightened this curve, although it's still kind of damp, so it's trying to bleed in. I'm gonna have to probably fix that again. And now here I'm just coming down on an angle so that the inside of the cup looks like the light is shining, blocking, or the front of the cup is blocking the light on the back side. Although it came up a little high there, it needs to come across a little bit this way. And I still need to add a little more green in there, right here. There. But at least I got the darkness of the cup here and then the light there. I was scrubbing it out with this scrubber. This paper really withstands a lot of abuse, I have to say. I'm just going to dry that real quick so that I can keep it from bleeding in, and then I'll just fix that edge. That's good. Now I can go around this edge here. And then take some water. Just bleed this out a little bit this way. I don't want that stark line there. I may have ruined that. Yeah, that's all right. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Hopefully it'll dry out. I think I scratched into the paper. That's okay. It looks all right. This should be a little lighter along this top edge too. Well, the other thing I want to fix is this edge here. I'm not sure if I can, maybe I can scrub it. I wish I had my small scrub brush. Actually, maybe it's in here. Nope, I can't find it right now. Darn it. Trying to make this stem skinnier. It got wet and then it bled too, so I'm just gonna kind of erase most of it. If I can turn it into the green of the up here, then I can fix it. There, let me dry this now. Might be able to get some of it better. No, I don't know. Get some sap. Gonna mix it with a little bit of brown. Keeping this color. It's kind of a red-brown actually. I don't want it to blend in with this bowl. I'm sorry. There we go. That's good. There should be a shadow behind it too, like up here, but I'm not going to put it in because it's not showing there and I'm not positive on where it would be. So I think I'm just going to call this done at this point. Actually, I do want to fix this over here a little more. this behind it needs to be darker too. Back here. That'll work. Or maybe not. There we go. That fixed it. I had too many streaks there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Here's the original photo. And I'm sorry, you can't see a whole lot. And then I'll post it though on the description so that if you want to do this, you can do it yourself. But that's it. So I think I'm about done. So everybody be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and be kind to each other. Bye-bye.